Yeah, as I say, I'm Kenny Shaw, MD and Creative Director at Screen Media, and I'm here with my colleague, Director of Mobile, Graham Cruikshanks. We'd like to talk you through the design and the technology process that approach that we've taken to developing an app called Sprint GPS Fitness Tracking. And I'm going to begin by discussing the creative approach that we took, and then I'm going to hand over to Graham, who's going to discuss our approach to development, talk about the crucial launch dynamics of the app, and share some of the lessons that we've learned from this. But first, here's a quick introduction to Screen Media. We're a digital communications company based in Glasgow. Predominantly, we work for clients creating digital design and technology with a team of 14 producers, designers, technologists, and we create work for the likes of BBC, Channel 4, Scottish Natural Heritage, NHS, National Library of Scotland. We're a true cross-platform agency, and we're known for our innovation across web, social media, and mobile platforms. Our biggest innovation today is, of course, mobile. Last September, we launched the mobile division, invested in that, with the aim of developing our own products as well as servicing our clients. So, naturally, we began by developing a client project, and this was our first app for National Library of Scotland. It's a John Murray Archive Tour, available on handsets as you wander around the National Library of Scotland. We also recently produced this iPad application, working alongside the very talented guys and girls at ISO Design. Some of you might be familiar with them. They produced the Central Station portal and community social network. So working alongside ISO, we produced this for the Eiffel Tower. But whilst the client work's really important to us, as I said, our ambition was to develop our own products. So in September last year, we began by developing our first product, which is Sprint GPS Fitness Tracking. We invested many tens of thousands over a period of 6 months, and we officially launched the app in May this year. So what is it? And I'm pretty much reading from an App Store description here. Sprint GPS is a fully featured iPhone application which uses the iPhone's GPS facility to track outdoor activities, such as running, cycling, and walking. Now, during an activity, users can view distance, time, speed, pace, calories, and altitude. It's got a very customizable interface, allowing you to change the different metrics that suit the different types of fitness activity that you do. As you're doing an activity, you can view your progress in real time on a map. You can hear audio feedback, listen to music, and you can even take photos. There's a range of fitness activities, including the ability to race against yourself, try to beat your personal best. We call that ghost running. And there's a variety of selected interval training programs on the app as well. And finally, once you've completed an app, users can view their activity on the device, but also they can view it online as well, and they can post to Facebook, Twitter, and email. It's all very good, but the crucial question, just as James was saying there, is, do users really like it? And fortunately they do, because ratings has been very important. Since launch 5 months ago, the app's been consistently in the top 5 of the health and fitness category on the iTunes store. We've had hundreds of thousands of downloads, and most importantly, we've been getting 5-star ratings. Because when we didn't, and when we don't, it does have quite a big impact on sales. And Graham will talk to you a little bit later about the importance of listening to users. Again, as James said, finding your fans, and responding by having a roadmap of consistent improvement, listening to users, and making that bigger and better. It's also getting a bit of critical acclaim too, which for a service agency like ourselves is very important. Occasionally it's been profiled by Apple. And the Sunday Times did a bench test of GPS apps and gave us the kind of gold 5 stars. And last week we won Best Use of Mobile Technology at the Herald Digital Business Awards. So 5 months on, you know, we're thinking that everything's really quite good. And perhaps was that easy? Well, it really wasn't. We've done a lot of things right, clearly, but we've also done things wrong, just through lack of experience, I guess. And in this presentation, we'd like to share some of the kind of vital lessons that we've learned. So how do we, or did we, set about developing a successful app? Well, we first needed to come up with a great idea to meet our goals. Our goal is revenue. So we would try to go for a mass market appeal, which meant a product with global use. And we obviously wanted a product that would be popular, and so we needed to look at popular categories. But at the same time, you have to look for room for you to compete. Just a Me Too app will quickly be drowned out. So, in terms of strategy, to achieve our aims, we soon worked out that our strategy would boil down to a big idea, a bigger investment than we realised, and of course, a long-term vision. And for us, like the crux of a successful commercial app is to make the product defensible. So here's a potted summary of our core thinking. Smartphone development equates to new product, emphasis on new product development. The new devices and platforms, as we all know in this room, they offer unique capabilities such as gestures, geolocation, micropayments, and internet connectivity. And of course, mobile's used in a new context. It's on the move, it's out and about, it's 24/7. And this is a great starting point to innovate. But the uniqueness of the device isn't, they're great ingredients, but they're not the recipe for success. For mass market appeal, we needed to identify popular genres such as games, travel, utilities, education, health, and entertainment. But next, we really needed to pick, where are we going to compete in, which category. So we needed to carefully choose the right app category. How did we approach that? Well, for screen media anyway, we look at games. Very popular, plenty of room for innovation. Real platform uniqueness. But we're not a games developer. And so, and also alongside the massive investment that you would really need for the big idea and the defensible, that wasn't for us. So entertainment and travel, very popular again, mass market, global. But we're not a brand, and we're not content owners. We have no content IP, and so there's nothing obvious there. Utilities, we've all got them, and we've got our wee favourites. But as popular as they are, and as unique as the platform allows you to create something as simple as like the spirit level. Fantastic. Great opportunity for innovation, but they're smaller apps and they can be crowded out very, very quickly. So it's hard to defend, it's not defensible. So eventually we arrive at health and fitness because this ticks all of our boxes. And within each category, there are, of course, a variety of different types of application, and it's no different in health and fitness. So we started off, really by researching for weeks, not days, excuse me. And we started looking at small apps like Couch to 5K, if anybody's familiar with that. It's a great app, it's been very successful, but small scale, content's quite basic. Therefore, that app, that subcategory of health and fitness became quite crowded, and therefore offers low returns. Something like iFitness, it's a medium scale app. It's got unique content. They were content owners, they had IP. And just by the sheer breadth and depth of that, and the quality of that content, and being by being in really early, they've done very well. But we are not content owners. And then we look at high-end apps like MotionX. And coming back to what I said earlier, this fascinating uniqueness of the device in its functionality. And here we found fewer competitors because of the high-quality tech that go into GPS apps. And of course, they were retailing at a higher price as well. So you maybe didn't need to sell millions to make revenue. So by device unique, and really the best example of this that we found in health and fitness is the iPhone's capability, or Android's capability, to offer a £2.99 piece of software, a solution to runners or cyclists or walkers, who up to this point have been paying £200 for a hardware software solution like Garmin. And notably, around the time where the iPhone and the App Store gained, popularity, the shares in those companies really went down. Now, the cost of developing such an app would be large. But in high-end apps, we find the opportunity to compete with a bigger idea, a better idea, to be unique to the platform and unique to the store, and more importantly, to have a defensible product strategy and the chance to be number one. Now, we're not number one, but we're in the top 5, and that's what we have found is to be a good product strategy. If you're in the top 5, it's a lot of downloads. So, how do you set about, you've got your thinking, you've got a product strategy, and you've begun to get a really good idea. You've worked out some of your key feature sets that's going to help differentiate your product in a less crowded category. Well, we had to start, of course, with a brand identity and a name. Now, we're a very design-led company, and we were always comfortable designing user interface, graphic design style. But before we could get into the design, we had to come up with a name and develop its identity. And with less experience in that, or in App Store marketing, this has been one of the toughest, lessons to learn, but a great one for the company to have experienced. Quickly after we launched, we were finding we were getting an awful lot of traction, and that's because the name was, in search terms in the App Store, somewhat mismatched with what users were looking for, and a bit of a duh moment. But it was easily rectified, and when we did that, the app got really good traction. So, thankfully, after we've come up with that, we were into a comfort zone, which is design.